Hello and welcome back to the Laws That Matter. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Carissa Kranz, and today we're kicking off the new year with some great guests. We have in the house America's youngest certified yoga instructor and his mom. So, without further ado, Tabay Atkins and Sahel, thank you for joining me. I've had you on this show before. So you were a hero kid that was honored.
Yeah.
Now we get to actually talk to you for an entire segment and hear your story.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Tabay, I spent my morning actually researching and more about Tabay beyond what I learned from the show. And I learned that he was on the Doctor's TV show and Good Morning America and a whole bunch of other segments. Both of you guys were actually discussing how you became the youngest certified yoga instructor, your journey, your mom's journey, Sahel, and you guys are on a journey together. So I don't even know where to begin with questions because not many 11-year-olds would be as highly evolved and conscious and then actually do something about it like you did. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey on how you got started and that burning fire inside of you that made you want to commit to becoming a certified yoga instructor at 10 or 11 years old?
Okay. Well, it started when I was 6 years old, when my mom had cancer. We knew nothing about yoga. We didn't even hear about it. And because of her cancer treatment, she was broken down. She was very weak and broken down physically, emotionally. And it wasn't until she beat cancer and was 2 weeks cancer-free that she got into yoga for the first time. And I noticed that after practicing yoga for a couple months, that she was healing from all of the effects of chemotherapy and cancer. And she was fully recovered back to her healthy self. And that's when I realized how much I wanted to share the benefits of yoga, teach yoga to people, so I could help heal others the way yoga helped heal her. And I was 6 at that time.
So 6 years old, and how old were you when you went through the training program?
When I was 10 years old, I did my 200-hour vinyasa training, and that's when I started teaching my own classes. And when I started teaching classes, I decided to do donation classes, and I didn't want to just help people by teaching yoga. I wanted to do all that I can. So not only do I help people by sharing the benefits and teaching, but also all the money I made, I give to helping people who have cancer.
I saw that 100%, right? Of your
100%.
So, and you're still doing that 100%.
Yep, since I started teaching till now.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to know, you can go to your website, tabayatkins.com, and that's where you have all your courses, your yoga classes, your cooking classes. But before we fast forward to that, I want to give your mom a chance to speak about her journey here. I mean, what is it like giving birth to such an enlightened being?
It feels amazing.
Are you in awe of him every day?
Every hour of every day. No, really, this is just who he is. He's a very special human being. He is, his heart is just so pure and so warm and giving. I'm very lucky for sure.
Yeah. At what age did you realize that he had this compassion and awareness within him that was maybe not as common among other young kids?
Well, he's always been very kind. He's always been, even in kindergarten, first grade, before I was diagnosed, if there was a friend, if there was someone who people were not very nice to, he would go and be friends with them. He was just, if there was little groups, even in that young of a grade, he would be that person to just reach out to everyone and kind of bring everyone together. And I just thought, oh my God, he's a good boy, he's so sweet. But then once I had cancer, I don't think he really understood what I was going through. I don't know if I understood what I was going through at that time. And but afterwards, when when I went through my yoga training, and he was by my side the whole time. He was there helping me because it was hard for me to walk on my own. And, if I couldn't really bend my knees or straighten them. So like the easy poses were not very easy for me. And so he would help me, without me asking. Like I'd have a coloring book or something there for him to keep himself busy, but he would always come and check on me. He's very loving, very attentive, and just wanting to make sure I was okay. And after, when he told me that he wanted to be a yoga teacher, I thought, that's so cute. He's telling me what he wants to be when he grows up, like all kids do. And he was like, no, Mom, I mean, like right now. He said, I remember hearing in your training that your teacher said that you can find your dharma at any age. And I was still thinking, what is dharma? This is all still new to me. And he was like, how about all those people in the hospital that were next to you that were, there was tons of people there going through what I was going through, with this much of a distance, like so many. And he's like, how about them? Maybe they don't know about yoga like you didn't know about yoga. So the faster the quicker I do this, the quicker I can reach more people and share with them. And you're such a great example because of what you went through and how you overcame that and how you got stronger and happier. And that was it. And then when he got his first, the first money that he made, I asked him, I was like, okay, so what are you going to buy? Lego or, some toys? I just want to know what he's going to spend it on. And even that floored me. He was like, no, I want to give this to people who have cancer. And
you shouldn't have been surprised at that yet, Mom.
I know, right? Well, it was already enough that he was bringing that out there to people, and
I heard you say that he chose his training over a trip to Europe.
Yes.
And that I was, I was like, okay, he was wanting to go to Europe so bad. And I thought, okay, so he keeps talking about this training he wants to do, and it happens to be the exact week that we're planning on going to Europe. So I said, okay. And I said, you could do the training next year. No problem. Like this training will happen once a year. So you can go to Europe now and do the training later. And he didn't even wait till I finished my sentence. He's like, nope, I want to do the training now. Europe can wait. And I was like, okay, wow, you are really serious about this.
His dharma.
Yeah. And,
one thing I liked, Tabay, that I saw on one of the shows you did is when they asked you the meaning of Namaste and how you explained that. So you obviously understood what Dharma meant at a very young age, but you were able to articulate and break down that I say Namaste and define it this way to this group of people, but then I define it this way if it's a young kid or a group of kids, etc. So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, so Namaste, I always end my classes with that. Respect for all the students, and students say back to me. And it just means that in my adult class, it means the highest in me honors and respects the highest in you. But if I'm explaining it to a kid in my kids' classes, I'm not going to give that complicated of an answer. I say the light in me sees a light in you, the love in me sees a love in you, the silly in me sees a silly in you. So yeah, they understand it.
They understand that. I'm sure, kids would understand silly. So how young is the youngest in your class?
The youngest our student has been is 2.
2?
Yes.
2-year-olds. And they can do this. They can follow?
Yeah.
So teaching, they definitely follow. I got to tell you. They are so intrigued by, because, I mean, he's young enough, so they relate, and they're just like, wow, this is, he's still an older boy, but he's still young. And they all want to follow along and do whatever they can do. And
also, it's not like an adult class where it's inhale this, exhale that, do a sun salutation.
It's fun.
It's different. It's fun where they're doing the poses, but having fun at the same time. So they're getting the benefits, just thinking that they're having a good time.
Can you give me an example?
Like we do fun yoga games and activities where they're like,
how about the pom-pom
balls?
balls?
With like pom-pom balls, we do this where we make with our yoga mats little bumps in like a skate park, and you use your breath to blow the pom-pom ball over the ramps and to the end of the mat. So they're using their breath, they're learning how to use their breath, and thinking that they're just playing with pom-pom balls.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job, because if you're telling them, okay, inhale through your nose and now exhale through your mouth, they're just.
It's not going to be as fun for them.
Yeah, and they may or may not get that, but putting in front of them as a game, they just do a great job, and they're not understanding that what we're trying to get them to do.
Yeah. So a class with 2-year-olds, what's the age range of that class?
Well, usually it's like
3 to 5.
like 3 to 5, or like 2 and 3-year-olds, or a baby and mommy class.
Do you find that the 3 to 5-year-olds, and I've done a lot of yoga in my life. I loved the hot yoga. I was a professional ballet dancer, and when I was doing the professional ballet, I would do hot yoga daily, sometimes twice a day. I was like insane with my dog.
Wow.
And I have to say, so I've taught a lot of ballet classes. My mom's a ballet teacher. She teaches a lot of young ones, and I've seen throughout the years the kids are a lot less focused at 2-3 years old to getting them disciplined to pay attention and not run around the room. So what is your experience in getting them to pay attention and focus on their breath? And trust me, she tries to make it fun too. Like she'll have them like pretend they're a turtle coming out of a shell to have a long neck, or she'll come up with things, or a teddy bear to make the going on a bear hunt, and but it's ballet class. But yeah, what's your experience with the kids?
Well, so the different age ranges, it's different way of teaching. You teach differently for each age group. So of course, if I'm doing a 3 to 5, it's going to be different than teaching a 9 to 12 class. So
and also we're not going to expect them to be focusing the whole time, but we're also not going to give them that attention where it's like, okay, pay attention. We let them, because there are some times in our classes that the kids will just kind of want to run around, and that's fine.
And if it's a group, we'll just let them wander around, and I'll just continue teaching to the rest of the group, and then they'll look and then just walk back in and continue participating.
Because a lot of them are expecting us to be like, come back to your seat or come back to your mat, and then they're surprised when we don't do that and we continue, and then they look back like, hey, where's that attention? Even if it's not like a positive one, and they're not getting it, and then they come really surprisingly, because a lot of parents are like, oh, my kid is not going to be able to do this. They're going to be all over the place. Even older ones, 6, 7-year-old, and and then they see how much they participate,
and also how much improvement in behavior and other things at home. Improvement, sleep, everything.
We have a question from a guest. Does he teach all 8 limbs or focus mainly on Asana? That's from Tom.
Well, that is a good question. In my adult classes, usually I give reference to other of the limbs. And in my kids' class, like I do a little focus, like I ask them, ahimsa, what does ahimsa mean to you? But not ahimsa, I say, like, not hurting others. I say, not saying mean things to people, not hurting animals, things like that.
So there's the transition to veganism right there in the conversation.
Yeah.
So at what point did you make that connection from yoga, and that living a life as a true yogi means integrity in your actions, and that, veganism is aligned with yoga?
Yeah. Well, it was, we were introduced to yoga, hearing about it, and then not making the connection just yet. Veganism, yes. And we were planning on going vegan actually August of 2017. And we were saying, okay, we're going to go vegan, but we didn't do it yet. We were just saying, okay, we're going to be going vegan. And then it wasn't.
So we didn't
fully understand it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until August 30th, 2017 that we became vegan. That's our vegan birthday. And since then we've been learning more and more about what veganism does, not just for our health, but for the animals. Because first it was, okay, it's healthy for us, it's good. And then, okay, this is better for the animals, the environment. And knowing that, okay, I teach ahimsa. It's not just nonviolence to people, it's to all beings. So veganism makes sense if I'm going to be a yogi, and just keep on growing and learning more being vegan.
We've evolved in those few years that we became vegan to and it's just like we keep on having these like aha moments, like, oh my gosh, and putting more and more together, and just growing more. But it's great because we research more, and then we're sharing it with our clients and our students, and then putting our we love to cook, and I'm a chef and he's a chef, and then we incorporate that into our practice. So it makes it a lot easier because we know what we're doing, we know what we're talking about, we know we can put recipes with the
non-vegan ingredients.
It's like wine pairing. You're pairing it with yoga, the vegan diet.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I saw that your dad was like a big, an NFL player?
Yeah.
Okay. Has he adopted the vegan diet?
Yes.
And how is that going for him? Because I saw he's a big guy. He's a big sports player.
Yeah, he said it's a big change and a big difference in health.
Yeah. Because they expect 6'4", almost 300 pounds, to be scarfing down meat and all this all this junk before playing, and then but he's I think he's been vegan for maybe 4 years.
I think so.
Something like that. So I
guess with your cooking, he doesn't miss the flavor of other things.
What?
With your cooking, he doesn't miss the flavor of the meats and the dairies that he's been used to eating.
I don't know. We don't cook for him.
Okay.
Just Tabay and I.
So you and Tabay cook. You don't cook for the family?
In our household, it's just Tabay and I.
Oh, I see. Okay. So how is he eating vegan food? Who's helping him out?
He goes to vegan restaurants.
Probably vegan restaurants. I don't know.
Well, that's great that he's adopted the lifestyle according to what you're preaching, and is that it reminds me of like other stories of these kids that are leading the family in a way, like the parents are joining in because they're waking up when they see what good work their kids are doing, and they're so impressed and in awe of their kids if they really get behind it and change.
And always the kids, they're always really intrigued by veganism, wanting to be vegan, learning about how better it is for the animals, the planet, your health. And the only problem really is the parents sometimes. It's the kids that want to make the change, and sometimes it's the parents that say, I'm not sure if this is a good choice, and try to make excuses for the kids.
Yeah, a lot of people will reach out to Tabay and be like, "Oh, I wanna go vegan, but my parents, they won't do it, or they won't help me." Or we'll hear parents, make jokes like, "Oh, my son said he wanted to go vegan," and then the parent said, "Oh, then how are you going to eat bacon?" It's like very easy. We can give you 3 recipes of how to make bacon without eating, having it from the pig, and so that's too bad, because for a kid to have that and want to do it, it's really up to the parents, because the kid is not going to be able to go to the store and buy the ingredients, and I just feel like it has so many there's so many benefits, and it affects you so much too. We have a lot of students and parents telling us that they have a lot of some of the kids have some kind of issues and they're tired, and there's so many different things. We're like, if you change to a plant-based diet, that could help, and it can't hurt to try it. And they want a different answer. They're like, "Oh, well, I don't know." I'm like, "Well, it's not going to hurt to try it, maybe for a week or a day or a month." But they're like, "It's too hard." And it's like, really, it's not that difficult.
And that's why on my website I have my video series with lots of vegan recipes, showing people how simple it is to make vegan meals.
Really, like any kids can do his recipes. It's good for the whole family, and there's over 130 videos on his website. So yoga for all ages
and all times, so it fits everyone's schedule, and vegan cooking classes of food from all over the world.
And are the videos that are available online, are they free, or is there a members area, or how does that work?
So on my website, tabayatkins.com, there's one tab which is the video series. That's a subscription-based video platform where you get the yoga and cooking videos.
You could do monthly or yearly
and
subscription.
Also there's a book online tab where you can book me for cooking class, yoga class, group, and private.
Yeah, and also I don't know if he shared it or not, but we're just starting to do a 8-week vegan cooking program. So we're going to do a course because we get a lot of people wanting to do cooking classes with us. We do that. We do our privates. But I thought, let's do it where everyone can join in and be like a group Zoom. So that starts on the 20th for 8 weeks. And we also have a kids and family yoga program too. Yes. All that's on his website. Hi, Paige.
Hi, Paige.
So Paige has a question. She wants to know what made your actual shift. And obviously we know the shift to yoga was the story with your mom having cancer today, but what was the actual shift into veganism? What was the aha moment?
So it was first because we were planning on being vegan, and then we weren't actually making. I know I'm going. We never actually became vegan, but then it was in the back of my mind. Okay, we're going to go vegan sometime.
More than me, because I just thought I didn't know.
And then I was.
Why was that in the back of your mind?
Well, just because we learned about it, we thought, okay, this is a good idea. We should be vegan.
But how'd you learn about it?
People
just
were
hearing
telling
different things from different people.
Yeah, it just.
It wasn't registering 100%, but there was some things that we were just sticking with.
It started to make sense more and more.
But also your stomach was.
And I was having some stomach issues. But we're in the plane actually flying back from New York for the doctor show.
He was filming for Harry Connick.
And I was eating this cheese platter and chicken pasta, and it didn't feel right in my stomach. And I knew, okay, so I guess this is my last sign of going vegan. And then we watched the documentary, What the Hell? The next morning. And then we understood fully, okay, this was a good choice that we made, going vegan.
For me, when I watched What the Health, and what clicked to me the most at first was, they kept connecting
diet and disease.
And, people having cancer, and me having had cancer, I was like, I don't want to get cancer again. So if this is what it's going to take, I'm going to stop. And he wanted to do it more before, but for me, the reason we didn't go right away into it was because I still was hearing more from people that he needs to have his chicken, he needs to have his fish, he needs his protein. And so that I was really nervous about, because I was like, what if these other people are wrong? And, I want him to be healthy. And then when I saw that documentary, it just everything anyone told me growing up, everything, it just went out the door. And I was like, oh my God, we were lied to, like forever. We were just programmed. And it was instantly, we just became vegan. And so that's what did it.
Mm-hmm. So What the Hell? That is a great documentary. Yeah. So it was initially a health choice.
Exactly.
For me, it was, yeah.
And after making the switch to veganism, we're open to all the facts of veganism, and learning, wow, what we're doing is really helping the animals. What we're doing is really helping the planet and the environment, and just growing and evolving, learning more and more. And being vegan, learning all this information is good because we get to share with other people and push them further along on their vegan path, so they don't have to take all the time and learn as much as take the time to learn all that. We can tell them all the things that we've learned to make it easier for them.
Right.
And Paige, hi Paige. Paige has another question. I'm gonna put up. Tell us about your recent cooking show collaboration on Instagram. It's News Reporter from Mainstream News. It's gotten over 40,000 views already. That's huge.
It's actually gotten over 300,000.
Yeah. What period of time? When did Paige look last, and when did you jump to 300,000?
It was 3 days ago when we did it.
Yeah. Tell me about this. I don't know about it so much, and I'm sure other people listening may not as well.
So we were doing a cooking class with
Shally from Channel 5 News. Fox, is it Fox? No, Channel 5 San Diego.
Yeah.
Fox, sorry.
And we were making vegan pho.
And it was a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, a big hit. And his inbox has been flooded with messages and new inquiries and opportunities just from that one show. Just they loved his energy, and they loved the show.
And they loved the food.
They loved the food. Some of them tried it out, and so he's got some things coming up just from that alone. Just it's you never know who's watching, right? You never know who's watching and the things, and And not only was it a great recipe, but you know, when you see him on live or with anybody cooking and doing anything, he gets good feedback. For sure.
Anything coming up that you can share?
What?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. But I will let you know for sure. I was actually gonna say this about the evolving and first becoming vegan for health. I think that, I mean, you know, he's younger and more pure and hasn't gone through so much. But I feel like with me, I've evolved a ton because I still didn't, like when I said we kept on having more aha moments and evolving.
Well, because you grew up not learning all the things that you thought to be true of how meat is good for you and you need it to be healthy.
But not only that, when we went vegan a few years ago, I was still buying things that did not go with that, you know, with ahimsa and veganism. Like I would still go buy my handbags and shoes,
Right.
Not even thinking about it.
That's normal. I was born and raised vegan, and that was an evolution for me when it switched from just food on my plate to, wait a minute, my shoes, my handbags, my, you know, couches, leather seats, and
I didn't think about any of this, and so. And I remember when my family would come over, like, I can't believe you guys are not going vegan, and it's so good, and how could you do? But then we were in Hawaii, and I remember walking into the store and getting matching leather bracelets for him and a friend, and I walked out of the store, and I just stopped in my tracks, and I don't know what happened, but right away, there was no one talking to me. I just walked out of the store, and I stopped. And I said, what did I just do? How am I not shaming people, but how am I telling my family, I can't believe you're not eating vegan, yet I'm still going to the store and buying leather? I walked right back in there and I said, this has to stop. Like, I can't believe I did this. And then I started feeling so bad, like, oh my gosh, all these years. And that was a huge thing, evolving moment for me. That was the biggest thing. But then, going forward, I was like, well, that'll never happen again. And, you know, of course I didn't know. It was just like with food, you know, I ate because that's what I was programmed to think what I needed and what I should have. And it was very normal. And so now I would never do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's part of being in the human condition and the human dilemma is we live in a world of many hypocrisies, and we're used to the yin and the yang, and sometimes we don't make decisions in life that are the right decisions without contrast or the wrong decisions, and we have to go through the opposites in order to exercise our free will in reaching our dharma with life.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was it like teaching yoga to Deepak Chopra and his disciples?
It was really nice. I was at one of his retreats. There was a lot of people, like 450 people in his retreat taking my class. I got a lot of great feedback. They all loved the class, and it was really amazing. It was a really good experience.
Actually, one of the ladies who actually teaches with Deepak, or she's on a lot of the covers with him. She was one of the people in Tabay's class, and there was something that he said in the class that she messaged him afterwards and said, "Oh my gosh, this was brilliant. Can I use this for when I teach a class?" And they still keep in touch, and it's amazing, you know, because they looked at him first, and a lot of people were confused, like, who is this little 10-year-old or 11-year-old, you know, on the stage?
Yeah.
And then people were just in awe afterwards. And then when we were walking through the resort,
and
there was a line. Deepak was right there walking, and there was a line of people waiting to take pictures with Tabay and just talk to him about the class. And he was like, "Hey."
So you were not vegan at that time.
We were.
Yes.
Because I remember they were telling us that we'll make you your vegan food, bring it to the room since you can't get the non-vegan food.
So were you able to discuss the vegan message there? You know, or was it not really the best space to do so?
I wasn't really talking about veganism during that class. It was just me teaching them yoga, moving them through the poses. Not much talking about veganism.
I would just think that those that are spiritual seekers who are, you know, listening to the teachings of Deepak or any of those well-known spiritual New Age spirituality gurus, whether those teachers are vegan or not, they're teaching principles of veganism.
Right.
And you would think that those that are there, the 400 people, are the perfect people to hear the vegan gospel.
Yeah.
True. But I think that was also the very first month too that we went vegan.
Okay.
That was October.
Yeah. So it was the first month, and everything was very fresh and new for us too. We were just learning and seeing what we could have and not have.
Yeah.
And definitely not.
I didn't know all of the facts that you know now.
We didn't even know half of it. Yeah.
Just what we heard in the documentary.
Yeah, but that was just him. And I don't even think he knew that Tabay was vegan when he asked him to come teach for him. So it was just, we want you to teach.
Yeah, well, I think he's more on the spiritual path that doesn't discuss veganism. He just talks more about meditation, and yoga would be aligned with his teachings. And I went to it was in San Diego. What is it? It's like his center,
the
Chopra Center. Yeah. You should go to Oprah. That would be that's the next thing. Oprah's behind Deepak, and
yeah,
I thought that it was interesting that Deepak Chopra in reverse is Oprah when you spell.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh!
I wonder if Oprah picked him because of that. Because it's so branded for her. Chopra, Oprah.
Yeah.
Oprah. I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be so. What do you feel, like Paige said and asked earlier, is your biggest point of impact? Do you think it's teaching yoga? You think it's teaching the cooking classes? Is it maybe putting together these retreats where they do all of that in one? What do you think the actual? Sometimes we start somewhere. Maybe you started with yoga. That was the beginning of your journey, but you end somewhere else. Maybe a chef.
Yeah.
A celebrity chef.
I think it depends on the audience, really. For yogis, I think the biggest impact of information is the connection of yoga and veganism. And, but just, I think sharing people the facts of veganism, how it makes more sense to be vegan. And by eating vegan, you save so much water, you save so much, you save the animals' lives, you save the food that was used to feed the animals, and just how much sense it makes to be vegan and all the information that they learned before that.
I feel like, both. I think that I don't think, especially at his age right now, the opportunities, he's going to just continue to grow and evolve. But I know, when he graduated from high school, I don't know if you know, he graduated 3.5 years earlier.
I read that, yes. And, I was thinking a lot of parents wouldn't want that because they would want their kids to be part of the socialization of classes and whatever. And I'm someone that's been through a lot of school. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to say I truly support your decision in allowing him to do that. That's why I want to say this, because, I've been through law school, master's in journalism, Berkeley Law, Northwestern Journalism School, like a decade of all this schooling. And I don't regret it. I'm on my path, right? My path, I am the founder of BeVeg, so it's a vegan certification firm. We're now applying the law to the farm and vegan label law. So I'm using my education now for it to make sense. But I have to tell you, 10 years of that, I could have done so much if I were on the track of my dharma, which BeVeg is my dharma. So it took me time to find it. But if I had known it before, I wouldn't have needed to go through all of those years. And we have this limited amount of time on this planet. And today you're obviously really on this fast track of momentum that why slow it down by sitting in a high school classroom for 4 years when you can finish in 3.5? I really think that was not, it just shows your work ethic and you're brilliant and, you're dedicated and, and you're getting your life in gear. You're not just waiting and changing your mind.
Well, the reason I wanted to graduate so early was so that I could have my full focus on my career and sharing yoga and veganism.
Right. And that's, and you're obviously building a huge following doing so. And I mean, you're on purpose. But I interrupted you. You were saying he finished 3.5 years early, but I just wanted to say that was like, I think that was really important. You've supported Tabay from the beginning on everything he's wanted to do. And I think you deserve credit for that as a mom, because a lot of parents don't support their kids' decisions. And I'm sure you're seeing that now with kids that you're speaking to who want to go vegan, and you're seeing the parents interject. And you have been someone that has been, oh, okay, you want to have, intense yoga training at 10 years old? Fine. You're letting him follow his heart. And because of that, you're allowing his heart to speak, and he's on his path and purpose because he's not confused. Kids get confused with what their parents tell them because we look up to our parents. We look to them for guidance. So we need parents who support our decisions. And I think parents forget that kids are closer to source energy and source inspiration and source intelligence because they've been connected to source more recently than you.
Yeah.
I think that it's important that we support our kids in their mission on this planet, as long as it's a good one.
That definitely.
So you can't say, what's next? Can you say what's next?
Well, just continuing, I want to stay on the path of yoga and veganism, reaching more people, inspiring more people, and just.
I want to ask you then, what is it that you would say to yogis that are not on the path of veganism yet to make them have that aha moment? Like Tom wrote here in the message, where did it get buried down now? He said something about how veganism is aligned with where is it in these comments? Basically, Tom, you could rewrite it again if you want, but veganism is aligned with yoga because you're not ingesting the fear and the suffering, and it's a tranquil lifestyle and a choice of compassion. He said something like that in the comments.
Well, just so the yogis who aren't vegan, I'll just explain to them about what you learned is ahimsa, one of the yamas, is nonviolence, and just instead of thinking of it just as don't say bad things to people, don't hurt people's feelings, don't hurt your friends, other people, but all animals too, all beings, not supporting companies and products that do bad for the animals, and just do the best you can to, like, also being vegan. It's not just being non-violent to the animals, it's being non-violent to yourself. You're not harming yourself by eating things that are bad for you. Mm-hmm. And there's so many facts behind being vegan, and its connection to yoga and ahimsa.
Mm-hmm. How many people would you say have gone vegan because they've met you?
A lot. Just last year, I remember when he did a just 1 month.
Vegan challenge.
A vegan challenge. He had 320 people just in that month who never even considered it. They tried it and they actually went vegan. So there's tons of people that message him and say it was because of you, or it was because of a message that you said, or a video, or a class, or from your easy recipes on your website that they went vegan. So hundreds of people for sure, easy.
Well, especially now after doing the cooking class. Showing people how to make vegan pho, and just sharing my recipes is a really good way to inspire people who do know about vegan, do think it's a good idea, but think it's too hard to be vegan. Yeah. So that's why I like to share my recipes and show people that it's really simple. You can just get a few ingredients together and make something that's really tasty, healthy, and tasty and healthy, same thing. Tasty, healthy, and simple.
And simple, yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what you go for, just to show people that the foods that you like. So it's not like we're just putting a salad in front of you or rice. It's, what do you like? You like a burger? Sure, we'll teach you how to make a burger. You miss your steak, you miss your calamari, you miss your fish. We'll teach you how to make all of that. We'll just veganize everything that you eat on a regular daily basis. We'll just show you a simple way to vegan. The sushi, oh my God, that's like his number one cooking class is that. So
I need to hire you to be my personal chef. Hey, I need to hire you guys to be my personal chef. Have you noticed any transition or change towards veganism since the pandemic?
I think this pandemic is a good way for people to realize this is the point where you should learn about how veganism really affects the planet. This is a really good example. It comes from animals. These diseases, these viruses. If you take out the eating animals and animal agriculture, there's a lot of change for the better. Less water usage. World hunger will be, it's going to probably cause an end to world hunger because of how much food is used to feed the animals, and you get less out of it. Instead of just being vegan and not supporting the industries that cause all these problems.
Yeah, I know. Jane always says the meat and dairy industry is the most inefficient food supply.
Exactly.
I think inefficient is the perfect word because they are consuming all of our grain and all of our water to make a quarter pound of
land
or beef. It just doesn't make sense. And because of that, we could be feeding the kids and ending world hunger, like you said, and pandemics, not just like COVID-19, which obviously is of zoonotic origin for the CDC, no matter where it came from and the debate that's out there, there's no disputing that it's of animal origin. And so many other pandemics like mad cow disease and swine flu and bird flu. And
if you look at all of them, it's all from animals.
Yeah, most of them. And all of our biggest pandemics that we've had, like the bubonic plague or the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu, I think, came from a Kansas turkey farm.
Wow.
Spain. So what a name, Spanish flu. So I think also if people want to really focus on, in a pandemic right now, we're so focused on cleanliness, right? And sanitation. And I think vegan food is clean food. It's about no cross-contamination. It's about not having spillover. So my hope is in this pandemic that we change and evolve as a society. I think we have to.
I think so too.
I think we really, really need to make some changes or we're out of time. Mother Nature's speaking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where are you teaching most of your classes now? Are they online?
Yes.
This pandemic or
all of them are on Zoom.
All of them.
Yes.
So you're
on the site.
Well, besides my site, I mean, I don't do any in-person classes right now. They're just on my website, on Zoom, or my video series.
And has your student, I don't want to say following because following is like a following, but those that are wanting to participate in classes, has that gone up or down in that new format? I asked that because my mom's teaching a Zoom ballet class and everyone seems to be attending, but I am someone that is so used to the teacher-student environment that I find myself logging in, but totally slacking off. I'm like, let me just text my law firm. I'm not as focused without the energy of the classroom.
Right, that's true. But I think that I've gotten more students because of doing online. Because before, when I was doing classes at the studio or private sessions at people's houses, there's a lot of people from different states and different countries too that want to join my class, but they're so far away they can't. And now that I'm doing online, people can join from their own home, wherever they are, wherever in the world they are, they can join. And a lot of people who want to take my class can now take my classes.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, now I'm able to, and also because not a lot of people are out working so much, so they have more time. And it makes it convenient because not everyone can leave if they have kids or they have a family.
Mm-hmm.
They can just turn on the computer or their phone and do yoga with him.
Mm-hmm. And what time or when are these classes offered so people can tune in?
Well, I have my kids and family Zoom classes, which is 8 weeks. I did the first class last Monday. And every Monday at 4:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I have my kids and family classes. And for my cooking classes, it's going to be starting Wednesday the 20th of this month. And it's also going to be 8 weeks. And I also have the option to book for private vinyasa classes, private kids classes. And there's so many options because I'm certified in a lot of different types of yoga. So I can reach a lot more people, like restorative yoga, yoga for cancer, vinyasa kids, all sorts of yoga.
Those are all different certifications.
Yeah, yoga for autism spectrum. There's about 10 or 11.
Yeah, there's
that
there's 11. I'm on my 12th one right now.
Is there a Guinness Book of record for this?
Right.
Is there? It's a real question. You don't know. You're about to make it. What about young certified yoga teachers in other places in the world? Are there many?
There's I remember, there's a few in India. There was a really young yoga teacher too, and also there's a lot of people that like these kids that tell me, "Oh, I want to be the youngest yoga teacher too." And I say, "That's good. Well, it's the meaning behind it. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to share yoga?" Because I didn't become
just a title.
Yeah,
because a lot of kids are telling him like, "I want a title like that."
But the reason I became the youngest yoga teacher isn't for the title. I just happened to be 6 years old when I first got into yoga.
Yeah, he had no idea. He wasn't.
I was certified before my 200-hour certificate.
He was certified at 7.
Yeah, the 200-hour certificate was just for me to teach my own classes.
Oh, so you were certified at 7 years old.
That was my first certificate.
And what exactly was that certificate at 7?
Yoga for autism spectrum.
And the kids yoga.
Wow. And have you taught many autism kids?
Oh, yeah, at different schools too.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that like? Do you find them very responsive to the teaching?
I think so, because it's not vinyasa yoga, it's not just kids yoga, it's yoga.
Very different.
It's kids yoga for autism spectrum. So there's different things that you do to make it suitable for them.
Okay. So I see another question here. Do you have any books?
Actually, we're working on a cookbook and a book of our journey of yoga, our full story of starting yoga, before that and after.
And when do you expect those to be finished?
Our deadline is this year.
Yes.
Is this a self-imposed deadline, or is this
self-imposed deadline?
I do that too. I put myself on these deadlines of I have a book deadline too, for vegan law, and I'm the same way. And, but you seem like the type of people, and you don't put things off. When you want to do something, you go for it, and you make this commitment, and you do it.
Right.
Action.
Well, that's how I did my training.
That's right. We've been working on our cookbook for a while though, so that's just been something that we just
continue building.
But we're like, okay, both the books this year. This is our year for that.
And what is this about making pizza in the snow?
Well, there was a snowstorm here a few weeks ago, and we have a wood-burning pizza oven. We wanted to make pizza, and no matter the weather, we still made it.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
And it takes it
heats up to 900 degrees, and it cooks the pizza in less than a minute.
Wow.
So we to make lots of them in little time.
Pizza, yeah.
What's your favorite food to make?
My favorite food to make is a Persian dish. There's two of them. One of them is a rice dish called adas polo. It's with lentils and raisins. And another one is ashashta. It's a Persian soup with noodles and lots of tasty stuff.
And beans and spinach.
And how'd you come up with that recipe?
That one, they're both foods that we grew up eating, and we just changed the non-vegan ingredients to vegan.
With the soup, it was very easy because that's vegan except for the yogurt topping, but we veganized that. And then the rice, we just eliminated the meat, and also we don't add any oil or sugar.
We don't put any added oil or sugars in our food,
which people think is very difficult because I'm Persian, and there's I don't know if you have Persian food, but the most popular dish of all time is
taddy. It's where in the rice dishes, it's a crispy bottom layer of the rice.
You flip it, and then it's this
because of the oil on the bottom of the pot.
And so when we said we're not going to have oil in our diet anymore, my mom's like, "Oh, good luck with that, because then you're never going to be able to have taddy."
And all of our Persian friends say taddy is the hardest thing to let go.
Yeah, and we never had to. And we make the most beautiful taddy with no oil, and people are just like, "No, there's no way that's not oil."
No. So I saw you today, both of you actually on a previous show with Animal Hero Kids, and you were the chosen hero that they wanted to highlight on our show. So I want you to touch on that and your continued involvement with that, and why you were considered one of a kid hero. Well, I think that's obvious why after the show, but why did they pick you, and what's your involvement with them still?
Well, just because of what I'm doing to bring awareness for veganism and helping the animals. And I just do everything I can to share my knowledge of veganism, how it helps the animals, and doing everything I can, participating in like shows and sharing the information, and doing my cooking class, speaking. Yeah.
And then in Hawaii, remember with the cat?
Oh yeah. Actually, one experience, it's not really a vegan experience, but it's still helping animals. There was this cat on the side of the road that was hit by a car, and I think it broke its back leg, so it couldn't really walk.
It was just right in the middle.
It was right in the middle of the road, and we stopped, and it was trying to move, but its leg wouldn't work. So we parked the car on the side of the road, made sure the cat got to the side where it wasn't in the middle of the road, and called the service to help us take care of the cat. And the cat is a lot better now. Its leg is, they fixed its leg. It was trying to escape, actually.
It just couldn't.
But it couldn't move because its leg was broken.
It was trying to move a little bit, and then it would stop. And this is on a South Kihei Road, so it's very busy.
A very busy street in Maui.
Yeah, and so there was cars going and coming, and we just were making sure that they knew there was a cat right there, and we just stayed right there. And it was about an hour and a half before the Humane Society came. And
where's this cat now?
In the Humane Society.
Yeah.
Is he going, or is she going to be adopted, or?
Yeah, I think they had someone adopt the cat after that, but first it had to had to kill it.
Aww.
Yeah.
I have a similar story. I was traveling out of the country about a year ago before this pandemic, and we were in a busy street, and a little dog was hit by a car in front of us, and the dog fell into the gutter, and you heard it yelp, and the car didn't stop, and we had a driver, and the driver honked at the car in front to stop, so the car did stop because he knew he was caught. And I went over to the dog. It was actually a medium-sized big dog. And I was afraid it would bite me because I knew it was really injured. But it was the sweetest dog in the world. And it was obviously broken hip, broken leg, just completely couldn't get out of the gutter. So we lifted the dog into the car in front of us, which was the car that hit the dog. And we told him that we were going to follow him to a vet and make sure that he took this dog to emergency care. The person in front of us did everything that they could to lose us in traffic.
Oh my God.
They didn't want to pay for it.
Wow.
We had a great driver who knew the roads and the back roads, and knew that when we lost him, he had to go one of two ways, and he knew that he didn't go one way, so he had to go the other way, which was a dead end community roundabout. So we basically cornered him. We found him hiding on a side street to dump the dog, and so while they got into an altercation, I got out of the car and popped the trunk of that person's, because it was like a hatchback. It wasn't in the trunk, but a hatchback where the dog was. And I'm carrying this, 100-pound dog with the back legs like dangling into the car with me. And we took him, and my entire stay in that country was at an emergency hospital, getting this dog ultrasounds, x-rays. He had a little bit of internal organ damage, but I struck a deal with our tour guide and our driver. I pay the medical bills, which were like $2,000. You keep the dog.
Wow.
So, yes, and I get regular updates, and I named the dog Paz because I found him. This happened in La Paz, Bolivia. So the dog is Paz, and Paz has gained a lot of weight now and is living the life as an indoor dog, not a street dog, and had a happy ending. Despite the car accident, Yeah. And I do think that these stories, you with the cat or me with the dog, it is a vegan story, because veganism is about
just what you eat. It's what you do too. Like it's not, you're not eating animal products, you're still purchasing it.
Right. And I think, if it comes down to just diet, then you're talking about being plant-based.
Exactly.
Right? If you're talking about
vegan,
lifestyle, then veganism is a lifestyle choice. And it is living a life of integrity with compassion, standing up against social injustice. So when I know on this show, we had many segments about Black Lives Matter. And I was very adamant to say that vegans aren't here for animal rights activism, because there's an animal rights movement, but vegans are about, it's a moral movement. It's a compassionate movement. It's living a lifestyle in line with that integrity of, I don't want to cause harm, like yoga, ahimsa.
Yeah.
So I believe that, and this is where the legal side of things comes in for me, that veganism should be a protected constitutional class, like a firmly held religious belief system. If it's a lifestyle we practice religiously. And if we can get there one day, we can have constitutional protections for our decisions.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have only a few minutes left. So any final thoughts or comments that you would like everyone to hear?
Well, just about all the things that I try to do to help the animals, by spreading awareness to people so that they can make choices that don't harm the animals. Also, there's this sanctuary that I donate to called Kindred Spirit Sanctuary in Australia. And I've been donating and helping them out too, so they can help the animals.
How'd you pick that?
Wonderful. Those are our friends, actually. They, the owners, the wife, she is a cancer survivor. And they're actually the owners of Rainbow Kids Yoga teacher training.
That's where
he's taken multiple of his teacher trainings.
I did one of the trainings. Now I'm on the other one right now.
And they have children, and they're all vegan, and they're just beautiful people. And so we support anything and everything that they do. They're awesome. And she's my cancer soul sister.
Wow. And if you were going to tell someone how to start yoga, where would you tell them to begin?
At the beginning. There's right now, yoga and veganism is a lot more well known than it used to be. There's lots of resources, like my website. You can take yoga now on Zoom, on video series. Not in person, but virtually in person. I do the Zoom private classes, Zoom group classes, and always adding videos to my website for people to watch.
Which is right there, TabayAtkins.com. Also, one more thing real quick before you end it with his mantra that he likes to end everything. On his website, there are different tabs where you can navigate through testimonials, pictures, classes, booking, the series, but there's also one where it says to donate, and then all the charities that Tabay donates to, there's tabs there that if anyone wants to directly donate to them, there's Team Cancer America, SavingSophie.org, Kindred Spirit,
organizations that I support and believe in. I have it all written down there, all the links, so people can support all the charities that I support, so that they can find out more about them and support them too.
Yeah, so it's the cancer, and it's also the yoga and the
veganism. Not yoga, cancer and vegan.
Right, I meant with the sanctuary. I just couldn't think of the word. Anyways, so you can find all of it there. And by the way, he built the whole thing from scratch. He did the entire website,
all the formatting, filming,
everything himself,
editing, uploading, everything.
It's all him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can't even send a text or an Instagram post. I need his help with that.
I should hire you to help us with some tech things around here.
Yeah, seriously, right? Okay, do you want to?
Yes, I'd like to end with my mantra. I close all my classes and everything with this. Bring your hands together to your forehead and repeat after me. Think good thoughts.
Think good thoughts.
Lower it to your mouth. Speak kind words.
Speak kind words.
Lower it to your heart. Feel love.
Feel love.
Be love.
Be love.
Be love.
And give love.
And give love.
Give love.
Namaste.
Namaste. That's very nice. That's a perfect note to end on. Namaste, meaning divine in me honors the divine in you, right? The light in me honors the light in you. My highest self honors the highest self in you. The many different words of Tabay, talking to the different audiences he teaches. So thank you so much for joining us. It was a lovely segment. Keep up the good work. Keep changing the world. Keep spreading the light, the love, the vegan gospel, and the yoga gospel. It's all aligned. It's all one. You know, we're all one. And to everyone else, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place on janeunchained.com for the laws that matter.